Fat loss and fitness programs today are leading people to failure. They're rigid, maximalist rule books that are not made by real people with real lives. I know because I've tried them. When I was 270 pounds, I tried all these crazy diets and workout plans, and none of them stuck until I finally built a system that was sustainable, flexible, and made for real people with real responsibilities, like a 9 to 5, or school, or raising a family. So today I'm going to show you exactly how you can set up a flexible training routine. And with just 2 simple steps, you'll have a routine that adjusts depending on how busy your week is. A routine that helps you achieve the number 1 most important thing when it comes to building muscle: consistency. Because if you're on a standard cookie cutter fitness program, what happens when you miss your Monday workout because of a work emergency? Are you supposed to just skip it and then do your Tuesday workout the next day? Or maybe you do your Monday workout on Tuesday and then you get up at 5 in the morning on Wednesday to do your Tuesday workout so that you can still do. Does this sound insane? I think this sounds insane. If you have a busy job, maybe you're trying to advance your career, or maybe you're working your way through school, or trying to support your family. You don't have time for 5 to 6 workouts a week. In fact, I'm going to say you shouldn't make time for that. That's too much. You should be spending your time with your family. You should be making time for downtime. You need to relax. Maybe there's hobbies that you're going to be neglecting. You should be making time for those too. Fitness shouldn't consume what's left of your life after work or school. That's why I created a 100% variable training approach. There is no schedule. There is no Monday workout or Thursday workout. There are only the exercises that you need to perform and the exercises that you would like to perform. And I'm going to teach this system to you right now, absolutely free. This approach allowed me to finally build consistency in the gym. Finally see progress where every week I'm getting stronger. Every week I'm getting a bit leaner. And look, am I perfect? No. I'll be the first to admit it. I do not have the body of a Greek god. But every day I'm getting a little bit closer. And I want you to get on this train with me. So my variable training approach has 2 painfully simple steps that you can start following today that will finally lead to actual results in fitness, regardless of how busy you are. So step number 1 is to establish your minimum. Forget what you've been told about fitness and fat loss. Forget how many times a week you think you need to work out, how much cardio you think you're supposed to do, how little you're supposed to eat. Just throw that out of your mind. We're going to start thinking about fitness from a completely different perspective. And to do that, we need to establish an actual minimum. What's the minimum that we need to do in order to get results? And what would happen if you actually just did the minimum? In order to progress on your fitness goals, which I'm going to go ahead and assume are losing fat and building muscle, it's actually very simple what you need to do. To lose fat, you need to, on average, consume less energy, food, than you burn. And to build muscle, you need to get stronger. You've got to lift more than you did the last time. In this video, I'm going to focus on training. I have a future video coming up that's more focused on nutrition and fat loss. This one is focused on consistency in the gym and with your activity, which is equally as important. Now, here's the absolute minimum that you have to achieve every week if you want to get results. Because results, they don't come from the plan that you can stick to for weeks or even months. They come from the plan that you can stick to for years, for life. So, for building muscle, the minimum is 1 workout per week. Yes, seriously. If you can only carve out 30 minutes in an entire week, you can make progress. You can build muscle, build strength. In this 30-minute workout once per week, you're going to do your compound lifts and only your compound lifts. These are the most important exercises that give you the biggest bang for your buck. They hit the largest, most important muscle groups. The key to this, though, is that you have to perform these exercises with intensity. Lately, I'm actually doing just 2 sets of each of my compound lifts when I only work out once a week, but I'm training to virtual failure on every set. The other key is that this approach only works when you pair it with step 2. And step 2 is that you have to always do the minimum. The point of establishing a minimum is that you seriously always need to hit this minimum. I like to say you should be hitting this minimum, this one workout, 50 out of 52 weeks of the year. I'll leave a little bit of room for, some crazy week-long thing that's going on in your life once or twice, but the rest of the time, you gotta at least do this minimum. If you hit your compound lifts every week, focusing on intensity, focusing on always trying to get a bit stronger, lift a little bit more weight, or perform 1 or 2 extra reps every week, you will make progress. You will build muscle. So, okay, how does this actually work in practice? How does this work in real life? You're gonna take out your phone or a notebook, whatever you wanna do, and you're gonna rank all the exercises that you would normally perform in a week in order of most to least important, starting with, of course, the main compound lifts. Now, more often than not, you probably can make more than one workout a week, and that's good. There's nothing wrong with doing that, as long as it doesn't accelerate your burnout and lead to you falling off the rails and then not even doing the minimum for weeks or months on end. So most of the time, I probably train twice a week, but when life gets crazy and things come up, whether it's work or family, I have no problem just going in and doing my one workout. And I walk out absolutely happy, patting myself on the back, knowing I achieved the minimum. I'm keeping the needle moving. So here's an example. Let's say it's a pretty normal week. I look at my calendar, nothing crazy going on, and I say to myself, okay, I enjoy working out. I like being active. I'm gonna, maybe get 2 sessions for sure, maybe 3. So maybe on Monday, I go into the gym and I'm gonna knock off one of my compound lifts. So let's say I'm doing incline press. So I'm gonna hit 2 intense sets of incline press, training nearly to failure, trying to push a little bit harder than I did the last week, trying to set a personal record. And then maybe I'm going to scroll down the list a little bit. I don't necessarily always do all of my compound lifts in the first workout of the week if I know that I'm going to be able to get into the gym a couple times. So for example, on this day, I might do some legs. Maybe that's doing some deadlifts, doing some Bulgarian split squats. And then I'm also going to do things like tricep extensions, maybe some back extensions. I might do some stretching and mobility work. And again, this is on a normal week where I'm not busy, there's not a lot going on. Because it's technically ideal to spread out your compound lifts, because by the time you get to the last one, you're gonna be a little bit tired. Maybe you wouldn't push as hard as you normally could, but it's not ideal if it means that you don't always get all of your compound lifts done. The most important thing is actually hitting the lifts. So if you often find yourself telling yourself you're going to work out, 3 times, and you save a couple of your compound lifts for your last workout, but then you always end up missing that last workout, scrap that plan. Move the compound lifts to an earlier workout, either the first one or the second one, and make sure that you're getting them done. It's so important. So let's keep going on this scenario. Let's say it's this week that I think is very chill. I keep going. I've done my Monday workout. Now it's Wednesday. I'm wrapping up work. I've got my gym bag. I'm planning on heading to the gym. And then boom, I get a call. Something crazy just happened. Work has blown up. I need to stay late tonight. I've got to grind for several hours. Well, guess what? I'm not working out tonight. I might not even be able to work out tomorrow. Maybe this is a situation that's going to carry through. And I don't want to get up at 5 a.m. when I've already been working late to do a half-assed, exhausted workout. But what I am going to do is I am going to finish the minimum this week. So if I have, let's say 2 compound lifts that I haven't done yet this week, I'm going to train those, even if that means literally doing a 15-minute workout or a 12-minute workout. Even if it means I'm not actually going to the gym, I'll find a bar somewhere to do pull-ups. I'll find something heavy to press over my head, or I'll do assisted handstand push-ups. I finish the minimum and then I'm good. And yes, if it happened to be the chill week that I thought it would, sure, I would go and do that Wednesday workout. I'd do a couple more compound lifts. I'd scroll down. I would do, curls. I would do lateral raises. I would do all the other exercises that I would like to hit. But the key is you never want to let all these other non-essential exercises get in the way of you doing the minimum. I don't care about what people tell you is technically optimal. I care about the routine that you're actually going to be able to stick to for months, for years. And if that's seriously just doing one workout a week, that's totally fine. That's the best thing you can do. If you take anything away from this video, I hope that it's this. The minimum you'll actually stick to will always beat the maximum that you're just gonna quit, that you're gonna fail on. So remember, step number 1 is to establish your minimum. And step number 2 is to always do that minimum, 50 out of 52 weeks of the year. If you do that, you can't lose. It's inevitable. You're gonna make progress. You're gonna hit your goals. If you wanna learn more about my approach, including building muscle and losing fat, I actually made a free guide, which you can get in the link below. I'll also be posting more videos about my philosophy and how I lost 90 pounds following a sustainable fat loss approach made for real people with real lives. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below and I'll personally get back to you. That's it for this one. Thanks for your time. I hope you learned something that you can actually apply, and I genuinely hope that you achieve all of your goals in fitness. Cheers.